Hi, my name's Phil from Fun to Fix and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to part 6 of my Ferrari replica build. In this video I'll be looking at fitting the bonnet, the window scuttle and finishing off the rear end. Stay tuned! Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn notifications on, and if you like this video then give me the thumbs up, and if you'd like to support this channel then please go to my Patreon page, which is scrolling past down there. So now it's time to do a little bit of work on the bonnet. If you remember, I left the car in this position with the front clip bonded on, and the front clip also has this brace bar connected, you can see at the top there, that holds the front fenders or wings in exactly the right position and width for the bonnet to fit on nicely. So then it's just a matter of cutting through the brace bar where it meets with the wing at one side, and then at the other side to completely free the brace bar. And now we can throw the bonnet on to see what she looks like. We then need to carry out a bit of work on the windscreen scuttle. You will find that the standard MR2 windscreen scuttle is just a little bit too big, which means that the rear edge of the bonnet catches on it. So I laid it on here and then made a mark so I knew which part I need to cut off. You will also find that the outer edges of the window scuttle, which should actually go underneath the wings, is a little short and will need extending, as you can see here. I then carefully trimmed off the front grille of the window scuttle because I'm going to use this when I reduce the size of this part. I then cut it again and removed as much as I needed to remove to allow the bonnet to close. And then trowel fitted the original grille I cut off back in place. I will plas weld this back into place later. I then retry fitting the bonnet again, and yeah, it fits nicely and clears the window scuttle. So now that the bonnet fits in the gap correctly, it's a matter of bolting it into place. If you remember when we was putting the car together with the metalwork, there was a plate that we fixed to the front crash bar. So what you need to do is bolt the front clip through that plate. That allows a bit of up and down of the front clip to get in the gap right. My gaps are pretty correct, so I'm bolting it in place now with these two bolts you can see here. Next we can mount the hinges onto the back of the bonnet using the sunken threads that are already supplied in the moulding. And then mounting the hinges onto the side of the wings. Again, these holes are pre-marked and there is strength behind to take this hinge. And when tightened up, the bonnet now goes up and down nicely using these hinges. The reason it's hinged at this end and not the other end is there's nowhere really to attach the hinges to. As the hinges are supplied with slotted holes for the bolts on both sides, then that gives you plenty of adjustment to mess around and get the bonnet exactly right to sit nicely in the gap. Of course, this gap should be almost perfect because of that brace bar that went in before we bonded it on at the top of the wings. And here you can see it does fit very nicely with a nice even gap all the way around. So now we need to latch the bonnet down, and this is done by using the original MR2 front bonnet catch, but you remove these two arms. These two arms were there purely for the safety catch in case the bonnet clip failed and it lifted up. Well, as the bonnet opens the opposite way, you do not need this safety catch system anymore. then fitted this supplied V bracket to the front bulkhead, which is the V, the bottom part of the V ends up being just about directly in line with the windscreen wiper. I then mounted the original MR2 bonnet release catch, which has now been trimmed onto this bracket using some bolts. The supplied bonnet in the kit comes with a bonnet catch already moulded into the actual bonnet itself. If you didn't catch that in an earlier picture, here's a reminder, and it's shown circled in red. So back to a bit of work on the rear diffuser. If you remember, when I installed the rear diffuser, you have this big hole here, which is like an air intake. So what we need to do is get that meshed up. The way we do that is to firstly draw the shape of the diffuser on a piece of cardboard like this. And then extend the size of that by about 20mm all the way around like this. Then cut the template out of the cardboard. I then taped this template to the supplied mesh. You get 3 types of mesh supplied, so you could use whichever ones you want for whichever area you want to use them, but this I found was the best one for this area. And then cut the shape out of the mesh using the template. I then laid this over the inner part of the diffuser to make sure it covers the hole correctly. I then bent over the edges so it was nice and tightly fitted to the actual cutout, and I will use this bent over area to bond the mesh to the rear diffuser, but it won't be bonded on until it's returned from the paint shop. As with the real Ferrari, the diffuser also has a gap between the top of the diffuser and the bottom of the rear bumper there, so we also need to make mesh for that. This one was a little bit harder to template using cardboard, so this time I used some insulation tape placed on top of the mesh, and if you notice I'm using a different type of mesh that's supplied in the kit this time, as the real car uses a mesh similar to this. This was then cut out and tested in place at the top of the diffuser. I then test fitted the diffuser back in place with the meshes also in place, and made any small alterations to the bending and tweaking of the mesh to get it to sit nicely. Again, this will all be bonded on after the diffuser comes back from paint. You'll find with these builds that there's loads and loads of little jobs that needed to be done. One of those jobs is to trim this surround, which is the frunk surround, so it fits in between the 2 wings there and the front trunk, and you need to obviously take a bit off the left and the right so that it'll fit nicely underneath the new wings for the body kit. I don't want to do this after it's been painted because there's a chance that I could damage the fresh paintwork. Time to test fit some of the pretty stuff. Get these reflectors supplied in the kit, and these are for the rear bumper. So what I've done there with the one on the left is just tape it up so that I'm not going to damage it, because I think these are original Ferrari parts and pretty expensive. These fit into this position here, which is just on the rear bumper above the exhaust on each side. Here I've drilled the holes ready for it to fit. And here they are fitted. So I then also test fitted the rear lights and the high level brake lights. And to finish off the back end, again created another piece of mesh using the same process as before by templating. And finished off with a photo of the back end with just about every part complete. Unfortunately it's a little bit of blade, but it still looks pretty good. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more videos like this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications. Till the next time, stay safe.